In the video, she described how they had all been in town for Jana's bachelorette party, which was held in advance of her wedding to Steven Wisman, which took place in August. The reality star shared the following statement. "When we were in Santa Barbara on one of those evenings, all of the girls were getting in the hot tub and they were like, okay, we are going to find out who is pregnant based on who doesn't get in the hot tub." I just choose to disregard the statement entirely. It was disclosed by Jinger that she had been searching for the appropriate time throughout the day, but in the end she chose to wait until the evening. Jinger addressed the group while they were in the hot tub, as evidenced by a segment of the film that began with her appreciating the results of a positive pregnancy test. She stated, "I am not sure if I should go ahead and enter. When I have a kid in my stomach, I don't think it's appropriate for me to enter the building." Her sisters, including Joy, Anna, Jessa, Jennifer, and Joanna, as well as her sister-in-law Abby, were taken aback by the discovery, and they all let out a cry of astonishment. Jinger revealed that she was very early in her pregnancy, and that she had been hesitant to come forward with the news because of an incident she had in the past. "I was debating whether or not to tell you guys because the last time I told you, things didn't go so well," she said. She was alluding to a pregnancy loss that she had endured before to the birth of her second child with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo. After being married in 2016, the pair already has 2 kids, Felicity, who is 3 years old, and Evangeline, who is also 3 years old. After then, Michelle went up to her daughter and embraced her, asking her to verify the information that she had just consumed. "Did you get the chance to say, 'I have a baby in my tummy'?" she inquired. "Is that what you meant to say?" Due to the fact that I was chewing on my chip, I was unable to hear. To which I said, "What?" Jinger continued by revealing that the baby is expected to arrive in the month of March. It was also brought to her attention that Jeremy had been urging her to notify others of the news sooner. "Tell them," she urged, referring to what he stated, "Share the news. Although I am a little anxious, I am very enthusiastic about this." As she reflected on the event, Jinger expressed her appreciation for the fact that she was able to inform her family in person. She expressed her sentiments by saying, "I feel like having them so far across the country, it's tough at times. Even if you wish you could invite them to share in those memorable times, you don't always have the opportunity to do so in person. A lot of things are on FaceTime, and so it was just really sweet having them there, being able to tell them the special news." After growing up on television from the time that 19 Kids was first shown in 2008 until the time that Counting On was canceled in 2021, Jinger and her family became extremely famous. Following Josh Duggar's arrest and subsequent charges of child pornography, the television show Counting On was put out of commission. The Duggar family has always been known for their strong family ties, faith, and, of course, their ever-growing family. With 19 children, Michelle Duggar and her husband Jim Bob have experienced countless births, weddings, and other life milestones. However, nothing quite compares to the personal and emotional journey each family member embarks on when starting their own families. One such moment was when Jinger Duggar, known for her adventurous spirit and willingness to break from some of the more traditional Duggar family norms, shared a deeply emotional moment with her mother Michelle and sisters during a hot tub dip on an unforgettable trip to Los Angeles. This moment wasn't just another pregnancy announcement, it was a touching, vulnerable time that revealed the ever-evolving dynamic between Jinger and her family. The scene, set during a casual but serene moment in a hot tub, is one that brought together not only laughter and joy but tears and heartwarming revelations as well. The setting, an unforgettable trip to LA. It was during a family trip to Los Angeles when this significant event took place. Jinger, who had moved to California with her husband Jeremy Vuolo a few years prior, had invited some of her sisters and their mother, Michelle, to visit her on the West Coast. This wasn't just any trip, though it was a chance for the family to reconnect in a way that hadn't happened in some time. The backdrop of Los Angeles provided a perfect setting for this moment. The family, far removed from the hustle and bustle of their famous family home in Arkansas, were able to relax and enjoy some much-needed bonding time. The trip was filled with sightseeing, cozy dinners, and reminiscing about the past. But it was during a spontaneous hot tub session that Jinger chose to share one of the most monumental moments of her life, her pregnancy. The hot tub dip. Relaxation turns emotional. On the evening in question, Jinger, Michelle, and several of Jinger's sisters gathered around the hot tub at their rented Los Angeles home. It was a rare opportunity for these women who so often were swarmed by the busy schedules and responsibilities of daily life to simply relax. The sound of light laughter and conversation filled the warm air as they eased into the soothing bubbles of the hot tub. They joked about old memories, talked about Jinger's life in LA, and caught up on their children's latest adventures. It was during this peaceful and carefree moment that Jinger felt the timing was right to drop her news. With the backdrop of the setting sun casting a soft glow on the group, she took a deep breath and looked at her mother and sisters with a slightly nervous but excited expression. Jinger's announcement, a tense and tender moment. "There's something I've been wanting to share with you all," Jinger began, her voice a little shaky but full of warmth. The casual conversation between her sisters and mother halted, and all eyes turned to Jinger as they sensed the gravity of the moment. Michelle, ever the doting mother, gave Jinger an encouraging smile. There was a brief silence, and then Jinger, with a tear in her eye, softly said, "Jeremy and I are expecting." Immediately, the hot tub erupted in gasps of joy and surprise. Michelle's hands flew to her face, tears welling up in her eyes as she looked at her daughter in disbelief. Her little girl, the one who had once played in their backyard in Arkansas, was now becoming a mother herself again. The emotions in that moment were palpable. Jinger's sisters, who have experienced the joys and challenges of motherhood themselves, knew what this meant for her. Each one of them instinctively reached out, hugging Jinger despite the confines of the hot tub. There was laughter, but it was mixed with tears of joy and disbelief. Michelle, overwhelmed with emotion, leaned over and took Jinger's hand, pulling her in for a tight embrace. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "You're going to be such a wonderful mother, Jinger." Those words, coming from Michelle, someone who had raised 19 children, carried immense weight for Jinger. Jinger's journey, from Duggar daughter to a mom. For Jinger, this announcement represented much more than just the news of a baby. It was a moment of reflection on her journey and how far she had come. As one of the more independent-spirited Duggar children, Jinger had always stood out. When she married Jeremy and moved to Los Angeles, it signaled a shift in her life, one that included a move away from the more conservative lifestyle she had grown up with. The decision to raise her family in LA, away from the Duggar family compound in Arkansas, had not always been easy. There had been questions about how her new life aligned with the values she was raised with, but over time, Jinger had found her own balance, incorporating both her upbringing and her new experiences. Sharing this pregnancy news with her mother and sisters felt like a full-circle moment, a blending of her old life with the new. The pregnancy also symbolized Jinger's continued evolution. As she has shared on multiple occasions, moving to Los Angeles allowed her to explore new ideas, to find her own voice, and to embrace motherhood on her own terms. This trip to LA and the subsequent announcement provided her with a chance to share that evolution with the very people who had known her the longest, her family. The family's reaction, tears and joy. For Michelle and Jinger's sisters, this moment was more than just a pregnancy reveal. It was a testament to the close-knit bond they all shared, despite the distance and differing life paths some of them had taken. Jinger's announcement brought the group closer, reaffirming their shared values of family and love, even as they each walked unique paths in life. Michelle, always the emotional matriarch, couldn't help but be overwhelmed by the magnitude of the moment. As a mother of so many children, she had witnessed numerous pregnancies within her family, but each one still felt special. Jinger's news was no different, and Michelle's pride and joy were evident as she tearfully embraced her daughter. Jinger's sisters were equally excited, expressing their happiness and offering advice. "We're all here for you, Jinger," one of her sisters said. "Anytime you need advice or just someone to talk to." Another sister chimed in. "You've already been an amazing mom to your first child. You've got this." Jinger, while grateful for their support, also knew that this pregnancy was different from the first. There were new challenges and expectations she would face as her family grew, and she was determined to approach this next chapter with grace and love. Reflections on motherhood. The conversation that followed Jinger's announcement became a tender reflection on motherhood. Each of the Duggar women in the hot tub had their own experiences and wisdom to share. Michelle, with her decades of experience raising children, spoke about the joys and struggles of parenting. She reminded Jinger and her sisters that motherhood was not just about raising children, but about learning and growing alongside them. Jinger, in turn, shared her own experiences of being a mom in LA. She talked about the differences between her upbringing and the life she was creating for her children. The conversation took on a reflective tone, as they all recognized how different their journeys had been, yet how deeply rooted they still were in the same family values. The night continued with laughter and shared stories, with the hot tub providing a warm and intimate setting for these precious moments. Jinger's pregnancy announcement, while the focal point, was just one piece of the larger puzzle of family life that was being celebrated that night. Moving forward, a new chapter. As the night drew to a close, the family reflected on how life was continually changing and how Jinger's announcement symbolized the start of a new chapter not just for her, but for the whole family. There was an unspoken understanding that, although they may be spread across the country and living very different lives, their connection would always remain strong. Jinger's pregnancy marked another milestone in the evolving story of the Duggar family. As she moved forward, preparing for the arrival of her new baby while continuing to navigate her life in Los Angeles, she carried with her the support and love of her family both near and far. This emotional hot tub moment in LA will no doubt remain a cherished memory for Jinger and her family, a reminder that no matter where life takes them, they will always have each other to lean on during life's most precious milestones. Jinger Duggar's pregnancy reveal during a hot tub dip with her mom Michelle and sisters in Los Angeles encapsulated everything that makes the Duggar family so special: love, family, faith, and the shared experience of life's most important moments. The emotional announcement not only highlighted the joy of new life, but also symbolized Jinger's personal growth and journey as a mother, living in a world far removed from the one she grew up in. As Jinger continues her journey, this moment will forever stand as a testament to the enduring bonds of family and the ever-changing paths of motherhood.